article shows it's time for XRP to run huge. But another article suggests that it may be in the opposite. It suggests it's time for bears to push the price to the downside. So who should you look at? Who should you believe? And what should you do? You have to do your own research, what is generally which everyone will say, but I'll say you need to put your own time into this. Say I'll be showing different documents here. The scientific investor does the research and bring you the information, so you can collate all of those info and reach your conclusion. So the research is executed here and we provide you the information. What you have to do is spend your time, read through or watch the document, and then make an educated guess. However, when we say that, I know the info I'm about to share here in this episode is like double cheese bullish burger. It may not advocate to be bearish on this asset. As we will go through all of this, it really means that it's going to be bullish. Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where we discuss crypto and science behind investing regularly. If you saw value for your time, please do support the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. If you would like to extend your support, you can use the PayPal, Patreon or the XRP wallet address given in the description below. Now, let's actually dive into the information which we really want to, because these will direct your attention towards some important area. First, let's actually jump through different aspects, say some of demos which Ripple has presented previously. So it will give you an idea of what really is happening in the background. And then look at the current scenario, like when you go through all of this, which they have put back in 2018, and then you reach to the situation, which is the current situation. This is a document from October 14th of this year. So that kind of gives you the current scenario where we have reached, right? So these are kind of, key info which will make your decision making process a bit easier, because it's a lot of information which if you digest properly, you can take that well educated calculated guess when you are an investor, because these tend to show you that it's really important. Now, this particular document, when you go through this, it's not that old, it's kind of new document. So when you jump into different aspects, we'll actually go through and cover everything and connect it for you. Now, we'll be presenting some videos which actually shows you different information. Why? Because these has to be understood. Now, this particular video is not from Ripple, except all the others are directly from the Ripple's official website. But here, this one is actually from CNBC, but it highlights, this is in 2020, it highlights how Ripple is shaking up money transfer space. You really have to understand that, because it was on that disruptor list and it was highlighted like that. And then we'll come in to this document, which also is really important. Why? Because this is from Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, which previously we have mentioned it like they used the term XRP and highlighted that it is a currency. Now, without wasting the time, we'll show here that the virtual currency which can be used for settlements. But when you move down in the same document, you kind of get other information as well, which is really important to watch and read and discuss along with the other documents which we will be using today. So let's actually dive in first in that technical aspect and then come back here. This is the longest view which you can actually get in the charts of XRP, and it shows you the worst consolidation, correction, whatever you call, and then a huge impulsive move to the upside. And again, you are watching a correction, consolidation, whatever. So what are you expecting? It should be another impulsive move to the upside, and we are waiting for that waves to pop out. Now, this is a 3-day chart of XRP, in which you can see previously when we hit that support level, the MACD was crossing to the upside and the RSI was at the support level at the bottom, kind of turning to the upside. Now, if you look at this current scenario, you almost have something similar. So when we look back at history, like this one, this case, or this case, if you take 10 coin flip, how much can you achieve? 50-50. But here it will be around 70% chances that the price may bounce to the upside and reach around 0.31, 0.32 around this neckline. So that's in that perspective. So if you go inside in that same chart, say a 12-hour chart, this kind of gives you a lot of volatility inside, right? If you look at the RSI, you can understand there is a lot of volatility. So this volatility is also still in the same range, which really gives that attention to you. Now, if you ask me, I'll actually say that really is a good thing, because even though we were traveling in an opposite way here, like in a bearish trend from that base zone from 2018, it's still showing a bullish momentum from this point onwards, right? So even in the MACD, RSI and the price is kind of showing you that we are moving to the upside. So this one, now if you can actually look at this in two different aspects. Say in this one, the price has breached the long-term resistance and came back, and it's retesting that. Now for me, I believe that it would be this particular trend line which would be more appropriate. Why? Compared to this one. Now it also has some valid touches there, and I believe that there are traders who are trading this trend line as well. But looking at the number of touches and how the price respected this particular level, I believe this would be much appropriate, because even before the breakout here, which created that impulsive move to the upside, we were respecting that particular level for a long time before that. Now in the same one, when you look at this, it was like 913 days we were actually respecting that particular trend line. We moved above that, and we had some patterns which showed that there is a bullish momentum there, and the strength is showing we are moving to the upside. And when you zoom in and look at it on a 2-hour chart, we get to see this channel which is running to the downside. So in this channel, if you look, we have kind of two area in which this is the primary move of that channel till here, right? We only got like two outliers or a bit of standard deviation at this particular points. But from here, the momentum shifted and the price went to the upside. There was an impulsive move. We reached there. We tried to break about that particular area, but came back into that trading range. So now keep your eyes as we break this one, or we may correct back to 0.22. So that is what we can see on a shorter time frame. So that's on the technical side, right? So when we jump into the fundamentals, this is kind of something which you can see as a positive news, and this one shows a bit negative, right? So in this Q4, they are kind of pointing that the price can go to the downside. They use different indicators for both BTC and XRP, and actually show you that there are the long perspective is still bullish. However, there would be a correction before we move to the upside. So that's something which kind of gets you confused if you are just looking at the shorter time frame. Now this document from Ripple is actually put out on 2020 on this year, and it's a recent one too. So the world's most reliable global payments network. That's what you can understand from this. Now when they put out this document recently, after all of these development which you previously heard, and it shows most reliable global payments network, that is really amazing to hear, because the value of RippleNet increases as the number of nodes increase, right? So when you go through these documents, the question comes like, okay, what about the usage of XRP? What about on-demand liquidity? That's a question, right? To how do their customers actually use that? How is the movement of value being happening? You know, all those kind of issues persist. So that's why I would actually like to take you guys through a demo video here, in which they actually show. I won't actually play the entire one. I just want to convey the idea here. So I'll just show you the key information. See, here in this particular point, they talk about the pain points, right? So first, now this particular one is for Japan and Thailand as a corridor, and they highlight what are the pain points here. So in this one, it kind of gets you like high fees for low value payments, uncertainty around the cost and timing. So here they are highlighting low value payments. You have to understand that too back in 2018. So you can't say they are shifting them, you know, they are ditching XRP holders, no high value payments. Not rubbish. Leave all of that aside and look at the reality, right? So these are the pain points, and how are they looking at it, right? They need to actually service the low value payments gap in an area which can be used. So this particular one is actually showing back in 2018, they are using Xcurrent, which is now just the RippleNet suite of product. You can use on-demand liquidity if you want, but at that time they were not using that particular one. And then you get to see a demo video in which they are using a remittance program powered by Ripple. And if you look at that, you kind of see cash is involved for settling process. Okay, now keeping that in mind, we'll just move into this one. Now this is also another one. So this one was October 3rd, 2018, Japan to Thailand. And this one is the same year, same month, but at the last of that month, showing small and medium enterprises payments. So what are the real concerns there? Yeah, using RippleNet, how they are going to solve this thing. So first, again here, they're showing the pain points. So in this pain points, it's not actually the same as what you saw in Japan and Thailand. You can see that there is difference in the pain points. So the solution should also be look different, right? So then you can actually choose at the bottom. If you actually look here, it's not clear here. Let me try. In the bottom, you can actually see a disclosure statement in which it shows it's just for the illustration purpose, but powered by Ripple. So when you actually look at that, you can choose any stuff, and I'll actually play this video a little bit. Say you are going to select this particular item and then execute the transfer. Are you using cash, or are you using on-demand liquidity now, or the digital asset back in that time? Let's play that 10 seconds.
Now Bank has provided the functionality to easily upload and scan the manufacturer's invoice, autofilling the payment information into their ERP offering. Through Xcurrent's capabilities on the back end, Alpha Company's experience has been entirely reinvented. They can instantly validate the beneficiary's account information to avoid a failure. They receive payment amount and delivery time. Once they click send, the payment gets delivered to the beneficiary in real time along with the invoice. For the supplier in Thailand, a record of payment settlement is delivered.
So what we just saw here is like they are using the same statement, a demo for remittance, but what you are seeing here is something different. From this long list of available providers, you get to choose one, which you can actually use your own fiat for that one. Now then you select that one and move upward for your payment, and then you choose what amount you are going to send, right? Then they show you like their counters, whether it is active, blah blah blah, and other stuff, and it shows the estimate for that delivery time, which is just 5 seconds. And look at the fees compared to the amount you are sending, like 1%, 1.5%. So that is really cool. And then when you're sending the payment, it just is executed in 5 seconds, and it's sent, it's received at the end, and then the reconciliation is also completed within that duration. So what do you actually think about that? For me, that's extra bullish as a XRP investor. Now, when you jump into this particular video, again, demo, liquidity provisioning with RippleNet, that's same month, same year. And when you go through that video, you can actually see how they introduce or, kind of show you the digital asset, XRP. So if you look, this video came first, after which you got this, say 30 days after you got to see this one. So for me, that's a really bullish from bank A to bank B going through XRP. Now, yes, you can actually say, there are different kind of issues. Even if Intelliger protocol is being used, they won't use XRP. They can use any other asset, blah, 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 all those kind of stuff, right? So what I would like to actually show you guys is different aspects are still there. I kind of agree with you on that one. But when you come into RippleX website, which is a new rebranded version of that, and you look at the tools, you kind of see XRP, ILP tools and all. But what does those protocol actually do? PayID, it's actually addressing, right? Interledger, it's messaging, and XRP Ledger is settlement. So if you are using that Interledger to get into connection with different siloed banking infrastructure, then you can use XRP Ledger for what? Settlement purpose. And that's what you are seeing here in real time, right? 5 seconds. That's more than what you can ask for in this time when you don't actually have that kind of a liquidity requirement. You have a huge liquidity requirement. Now, I won't actually play this video. Instead, I'll say if you go to official Ripple channel and look at the on-demand liquidity talk here, you kind of get a bit more big picture about what we just showed in the demo here. Now, then you come at the Ripple official website and you get to see this one in May 2019. They are talking about a new corridor from Saudi to India. Well, that's not bad. Then again, you kind of get this one this year. Now, what does this information validates? When you come into this document, which is also a kind of new one back in late 2019, the Bureau also believes that the expanded adoption of Swift's GPI product or Ripple's suite of product could similarly allow banks to do whatever they want based on the new perspective of customers. So you are comparing a company which is Swift, which have been there from last 40 years, and Ripple, which came out recently in last decade. So they are really shaking the system, and this new corridor is towards talking about India, right? Now, what I would like to actually take you guys through is in this document, which really you should be paying attention to this, because this is also in line with the same small, medium enterprises cross-border payments, which we talked about. Now, why should we care about that? It's huge market. We are not talking about the high value payment corridors. We are talking about low value payments from small, medium enterprises, and that itself is $10 trillion to $15 trillion market. Wow, you have to actually see that. Wow, otherwise you're missing something. Now, when you look at these different areas where they are focusing, you can see why they are focusing in that area. The traditional players are not in that clear area for solving their customers' requirement. So now here, if you actually read through this particular item, you kind of get to see different kind of aspect, all the different thing. And here, when we come at the bottom, you get to see the talk about XRP. But now, why are SMEs needs not being met? Because the low cost, fully trackable payment solution is there for high value payments with huge fees, but not for these small ones, because these pain points were always there, and it's still there. 2 to 5 days, $3 to $100 per transaction, 4 to 6% international payment error rate. Now that error rate, if you go back to Swift's own reports previously, you can actually see that. So that's not something Ripple is making up. And now then you come to see what is the new technology available. So you have to read this one first and then read through this. Okay, this is the connected information there, and it shows different corridors. So before jumping into that area, we'll first read through this. Ripple provide one frictionless experience to send money globally using power of blockchain. Customers can use digital asset XRP as an alternative to pre-funding. Now, when you come to the bottom, you can understand they have kind of access through 50 countries, blah, 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 and all the different infrastructure provided there to use this technology to send real-time, on-demand, low-cost and trackable payments worldwide. Now they are talking about ILP, which can connect all the different payment corridors. And then you kind of get to see this. It kind of shows you forging new corridors for new customers, InstaRem and BTech. Now this one is really important. But innovative companies like InstaRem in the UK and BTech in Brazil formed a bridge across Atlantic Ocean using RippleNet, allowing them to establish new corridors for business-to-business payment and consumer remittance from Brazil to Spain, Italy, Germany, France, and Portugal. Guys, these are really important. If just two companies are getting tied up, and then their business kind of expands worldwide. So this is kind of an aspect which we had to really understand. Even though we kind of see small partnerships, not the giant banks, but that if it is opening up different corridors, that really is huge. What the investors are not understanding is that the value of these partnerships in different corridors are opening up that kind of a bulls, which not every common retail investors are understanding. And that's the reason when we look at the price chart, we understand there is an accumulation going on, the rounded bottom from last 450 days, and majority of the retail investors are still bearish or at least depressed, even after getting all of this information, right? So now from these, we'll actually move further and look at this one. Say this is another talk showing towards ODL opening as a corridor in India from Naveen, and that is kind of something gets tied up with what we just talked about in different regionals here. See, Saudi Arabia to India, we just talked about that previously, right? So in that aspect, I would also like to highlight this one. This is back from 2019 swell, and this from 2020 swell. Now, a real shout out to Sparky 91011 for highlighting this, because if you are concentrating, you'll understand now we are somewhere near to 6, whereas here you were just near that 2 point, right? So we have came across a lot here. There was a lot of progress. If you are arguing that there is no progress, you should be rethinking yourself. Now, we'll have different arguments. Now, we really had different arguments, perspectives. Now, what we have to look at is the news and updates. Michael sent me this one, which is showing MoneyGram is the first in the industry to enable visas, real-time push payment solution in Philippines. So if you look at different corridors where XRP went live, the new corridors like say Mexico, Philippines, US, and all, whenever you are understanding this, look at that. They are bridging new connection. They are forging new connection. They are expanding. Different companies are expanding with the support of RippleNet. If you don't understand the value still now of this particular asset and the technology it is bringing into the market, maybe you're not looking at the right direction. So XRP Crypto Wolf sent me this one showing the market of institutional grade trading service for cryptocurrencies is maturing. 2020 just, So 251 million invested across cryptocurrency. Now, if you still don't believe about the change or the investment future in this particular set of assets, you really have to think. If institutions are bringing money like this, it's not like they can't bring in billions together. It's only because of regulations, they can't push the market so volatile. They have to, put a little by little, and still you are seeing like this. Now, there are developments going on, and by the day you'll actually be seeing next day, October 19th, this report, and I'll actually go in detail with that. We'll study about that, the background information and all, because it will bring us new information about the cross-border payments market, which really is important. And this one from Daily Hodl shows a Ripple presentation highlighting Bank of America's partnership goes viral. Is XRP in the spotlight? Now, for me, I think, previously we already knew about the same. And if you remember the talk between Alex Cobb and Ripple, they were kind of thinking about a campaign about the same. But I personally didn't see much of a huge campaign about the same. Now, this particular article shows Ripple's XRP and blockchain adoption will explode in next months. Yeah, I agree. If you get a lot of regulatory clarity. Now, yes, you are getting a more clarity from different regions. US also need to step up. As of now, it's a US based company, so that really is important. Now, when you come to Ripple's website and come into the talk about XRP and come at the bottom, it shows it is scalable. Wow, we agree with that. And then at the bottom, it kind of shows it is also stable. Now, you have to understand when you're looking at the price, it is stable for most of the time, and then it kind of gets bombarded. Now, in the same website of Ripple, when you come to the bottom, you kind of get to watch demos. This one for booking new SME clients, and this one increase remittance revenue. Now, if you have time, go to Ripple's website and go inside the use cases of banks and then watch this demo. I tried, but I don't know why it's not getting actually played. If you guys have an option to play that, do watch that. I'll try to watch. If there is new information, I'll actually bring that to you guys. So that's all for today, and if you really received value for your time, please do support the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. If you would like to extend your support for the Scientific Investor channel, you can use the PayPal, Patreon, or the XRP wallet address given in the description below. I'll meet you guys on the next video. Bye for now.